This is a brief history of the ducks at Martino Junior High School. This is the courtyard in the middle of Martino, and this is where it started 4 years ago. 4 years ago, just after Easter vacation, we found that a hen mallard had laid eggs in our courtyard. And this was where she chose the first year. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks. Right here, right next to the building, was where she had her first nest. And we didn't think, and evidently she didn't think, that it was a very good spot in later years, but that's where she laid her eggs the first year. Not a lot of cover. We were concerned with how she would react when students began using the courtyard to come out and eat lunch. Actually, she reacted most of the time rather poorly. She was really bashful and shy. The ducklings, however, didn't seem to mind a bit, because the students that came out to eat after the eggs hatched, the students came out to eat, and they had to be very careful of where they were putting their feet. The ducklings were just in and out around their feet, picking up crumbs from lunch all the time. They didn't have a problem with it at all. The ducklings were kind of everywhere. Mom hung back most of the time, and at the end of that first year, of course, it was our first time taking her and them through the school and over to the pond across the road, a total distance of about a quarter of a mile. So it was quite a trip for them that first year, and we were just kind of taking it one step at a time, like she was, to see what was going to happen the whole time. The second year, we didn't know if this was a fluke or whether the duck would come back, what would happen. We kept watching the area over here, and nothing happened. And then one day the custodian came in and said, "Found her." She found this clump of grass, which was not nearly as big as it is now, but it provided a lot more cover for her than the original. You can see the nesting site down in this grass if you want to come a little closer. The first year she was here, I recollect that she laid 11 eggs. I believe all 11 hatched. The second year, and this is exactly where she was the second year, she laid 14. 13 of them hatched, and that's where she spent the second year. The ducklings, again, had no problem with the students. She, again, hung back. We were relatively surprised to see her the second year. Kind of had hoped that we would have another duck, but didn't know if it would happen for sure. So last year then, you can imagine that we were anticipating, hoping, but wondering. Sure enough, last year, back she came. We can't help but think this is the same hen mallard. It would be too coincidental for it not to be the same duck. She chose the same nesting site. This clump of grass had grown a lot from last year. She had 12 or 13 eggs. All of them hatched out, and again we walked them through the school, as was becoming, like other things at Martino, kind of a tradition, kind of year after year thing. And so everybody just kind of held their breath this year when no duck showed up for a long time. The time kind of came and went, and we were thinking, well, I don't know, maybe something happened. Pretty soon we found that there were 2 ducks in our courtyard. We feel the original hen laid her eggs there, and it would make some level of sense that one of the daughter hens from the original hen came back with her and laid her eggs in this second clump of grass at the other end of the walkway. Both hens laid their eggs. Both sets of eggs hatched out. We walked both sets of ducks and ducklings through the building. This is the 4th year. Who knows what traditionally next year will bring. In walking the ducks from the courtyard here through the building and to the pond, the first year that we did that, we were really apprehensive, thinking that if we got too close or if we touched the ducks and put our scent on them, or they got too used to us and would imprint on us rather than on the hen, we were really concerned about those kinds of things. By this year, they weren't moving quick enough through the building. We were picking the mother duck up and carrying her and letting the ducklings fall in behind. We found that none of those kinds of things made a difference. Once they get out there and close to the pond, it's go for the water and goodbye, Martino Jr. High School. We'll see you next year, guys. At least we hope that they will continue the tradition of seeing us next year.
Try to get edge to edge here. We don't want any breaks. Get some motion. Okay, well, she can.
As the line of animals gets past you, at least one show board past you, you pull out, go around the back.
Okay, we got 2 ducks to go, so
yes,
you're going to release them as you go by.
Okay.
I mean, they need to stay in place until you get by.
Right. Go to the very end of the line and then form up again just as you are.